Everybody, 2024 is coming up, and today I've got Mr. Hudson here, who's going to run through his top 5 SEO ranking factors for 2024. Go!
So number 1, semantic SEO, covering, topical authority, essentially, and actually doing it properly. Number 2, I would say silo structure, make sure the website's all structured properly, internal linking properly, etc. Number 3, I would say backlinks. I would say definitely backlinks. The hard part of this is I would actually put like some on par with each other, but we'll say backlinks number 3. Number 4, I would say traffic. And number 5, website performance. So, like mobile speed tests, things like this.
So, right, number 5, website performance. Under that, you're talking about all things related to technical.
Technical, server hosting,
so let's say my technical
speeds.
person sets the site to no index. Is that not number 1?
Well, then it will become number 1 very quickly. But so, as an SEO, you shouldn't be allowing your tech to set your website to no index.
Right, no worries. So when you're talking about website performance, you're mainly on about the speed.
The speed index,
indexability, stuff like that. Yeah. Right. So let's go with number 1, semantic SEO. Explain what you mean by semantic SEO, because you said topical authority, but you called it semantic SEO. So first and foremost, explain topical authority, why you put that as being number 1.
So I would say a lot of people misunderstand what topical authority is. Obviously, for people who know Corey, I've mentioned him on the last podcast. He obviously mentions the fact that topical authority is where it's your topical coverage, which is everything about whatever topic it is. Let's say gardening. You're covering everything on gardening. But then it's also that plus historical data. So is your website or web page ranking for gardening, and that data in the back end. So within Search Console, it can see that, it ranks for gardening. That then equates to topical authority. Not what a lot of people understand as topical authority as being basically they've covered the topic, so that is it. They are an authority on that topic.
So when you said semantic SEO, why didn't you say topical authority?
Because semantic SEO, obviously, it looks at it goes a little bit deeper than just topical authority. You're then looking at the micro semantics of pages, where content is placed on the pages, where the internal links are placed on the pages. It goes into a lot more depth. It's not just about, you have a bunch of pages that are all about this topic, therefore you are the topical authority.
So if I give you a statement, let me see whether you agree with this, right? You don't internal link in the macro content in the introduction. You generally only link in the micro content. You try to get as many entities on the page as you can. You try to have the lowest amount of word count you can.
Yeah.
As long as you're covering the topic that you need to on the page in the lowest word count. Do you agree with that?
Yes, the maximum amount of entities for the lowest amount of words.
Right, so if you're talking about the lowest amount of words, you don't believe in certain content optimization tools that have an average word count?
No.
Right, interesting. I agree with you with what you're saying on there. But so number 2, you've said silo structure.
Yeah.
Internal linking.
Internal linking, so
Can you over-optimize internal anchor text?
I haven't seen it myself, no. But I would always, because it's an internal link, you can get away with it because Google expects you to internally link your pages utilizing anchor text, so it can understand from the crawl as well what that page is about.
Do you think people don't internal link enough?
Don't do it. They often just rely on navigational links, which, as we all know, it is often ignored by Google navigational links. It's not weighted the same. So navigational and footer links aren't weighted the same as in-body content links. So
here's one for you. Internal anchor text. Do you ever use generic or naked URLs?
I would try to avoid it.
So you always do keyword rich.
The only time I would probably do not generic but branded would be to the homepage. Primarily because your homepage is your brand page. It's your hub. Usually, the one key thing I've seen through the years of doing SEO, the sites that move the most in the SERP when it comes to updates, or the ranking pages that move the most, are ones that are leveraging the homepage as the ranking page.
Yeah.
So they often in an update will come, Google's changed its intent and it's now focusing on an internal page intent. Well, the home page is never going to match that intent.
Yeah.
So that tends to see where I've seen the biggest movements is it's maybe dropped from 1st to 5th because it's now.
So you've got number 3, backlinks. Right. Now that surprises me because knowing you for nearly a decade in ranking, you've crushed it with topical authority. And I would say the person that builds the most links and has crushed it in the biggest niches, like in dating, like in casino. And I've always known you as being the link man, yet you've now gone and put this now for 2024 in position number 3. If I would have asked you the start of this year, that would have been position number 1. Why do you think now that potentially is position number 3? Because also there's an argument to say, and I've heard you saying this a few times, that links are becoming more important than ever.
Yeah.
And because of differentiating factors, because of AI that's coming along, that allows you to scale content easier. So why number 3?
The only reason why I've put this number 3, and again, it's why I said I wish there was like on par elements with this, obviously having a list top 1 to 5, is because if you didn't have semantic SEO and you didn't have content, then you can't rank.
Yeah.
No matter how many links you have, you're not going to rank. So it has to, you almost have to
So I
tick
think
them
it's more
two
important.
first.
Actually, I think backlinks is more important than internal links. You can actually rank with external links going through to a page, and actually just with navigational and footer links.
You can,
yes, it's not good, and yes, it's not passing the right amount of.
But a silo structure isn't all just about internal links. A silo structure is also topical authority, topical coverage.
Yeah.
So yes, you can rank without internal links, but you're gonna struggle down the line.
I suppose it's a pointless argument because all 5 factors are needed in 2024. They're all needed, and there isn't really one over another. If you're building a car and you don't put wheels on or you don't put a steering wheel on, you ain't got a car that can drive.
That was car, by the way. It sounded like can, but it was definitely car if you're building a
vehicle. Then, so I disagree with you on that though. I think backlinks number 2. I'd probably even say internal links might even be number 4 or number 5. I don't get me wrong, I'm a massive advocate that people don't do enough internal links.
So what I would say on the internal links bit, especially for people who want a little bit of like better understanding of it, I have tested this quite a lot, and one of my best ways of doing it is look at what's ranking in your search console for that page and then utilize those as the internal links to that page. You don't just have to go really aggressive on the exact match keyword that you want in that page to rank for. A lot of people just don't do that. Now, there's the argument that someone says, well, I don't rank for it right now, so I've got no search console data. Well, look at your competitors and use a tool like Ahrefs, SEMrush, whatever, to see what they rank for and use those keywords initially. Then you can change it down the line.
Backlinks, obviously you're talking about guest posts, niche edits, citations, forum links, press releases, a nice mixed bag of backlinks. I think people don't understand what that means. So number 4, you said traffic. Right?
Yeah.
Explain slightly what you mean by traffic with regards to direct traffic via email, traffic via web notifications.
Any type of traffic is, in my opinion, good traffic, unless you're obviously buying just pure bot form traffic. Yeah. Now, don't get us wrong, you can tweak that and manipulate it so it might be beneficial, but Google's pretty quick at catching on to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, email campaigns, even cold outreach campaigns on emails are pretty good. Usually if you've got a bit of a free ebook or whatever it is in the industry that's of interest, you might be able to turn in some traffic there. Obviously with that, you can also capture more emails in the long run. Paid ad campaigns, obviously on previous podcasts we've mentioned paid ads, utilizing either an agency like Searcharoo or going down a different route and, doing it yourself if you want. There's a lot of caveats to paid ads. So if you haven't got a lot of experience with it, maybe don't burn money on that, use an agency. But social media ads is another good avenue. And just in general, social forums, Reddit.
So I do a lot with regards to traffic signals, a lot of traffic testing. So you mentioned Searcharoo, you mentioned Rick. Rick does a hell of a lot of PPC and different social media ads for us. He also does some email campaigns. And with regards to email campaigns, I'll show you a few little hits with regards to certain things that has worked very well. Gmail has worked way better than any other platform. So when we manage to land in someone's Gmail and they go and click from there, it's being directly tracked. In analytics can see that it's coming from Gmail, works really, really well. That's coming through. actually big ranking jumps. Works really well. So if you can collect emails, great. Twitter traffic, Pinterest traffic, Reddit traffic, everything, like you said, traffic from in all these different sources. You've seen the results yourself from our test data of what we have. This is why we're trying to build as many kind of branded searches as we can. It's crazy because when Rick runs at Searcharoo, the Facebook ad campaign, the minute he starts running it, our branded searches start going up. And the minute our brand searches start going up and we get natural searches for one or two of the brands and they start clicking through to the site, the whole site lifts. And literally the minute we stop running certain ads, the branded searches start dropping down, and it's almost like the traffic tiers drop back down. And it's crazy to see. And like the volume of what we're spending with regards to the ads is like, I mean, you could go and put traffic as number one. Seeing the results of what it is, you can almost have a landing page with not much content on, so not semantic SEO, not internal links, not backlinks, but gets a lot of CTR traffic. And I'm not on about the bot traffic and stuff like that, going, where do you buy your CTR traffic from? Genuine traffic from real people, from mobile phones, from desktops, different types of mobile users that have got historical kind of search history, that are going searching your brand. Not many big brands get hit with algorithm updates. And when you then start looking at that, the more you be like a real brand and a real business, the more kind of stability.
The one thing we did in the gambling niche is we went down the route of we did an advert, a paid ad, went out on Sky, I think it was on like Dave or something, and obviously with gambling there's certain times that you're allowed to run ads and things. So I think it was like Dave at like 10 o'clock at night or something. Anyway, it was about 50 or 60k, I believe, we spent on it. And you could, although it's very hard to track, obviously you do put like, oh, go on such and such casino.com/TV ad or something as the URL. Not everyone does that. You just load the homepage. You could see a direct correlation, like you were saying, to the branded search increasing, people just typing in the brand in Google. And then you could also see the increase in traffic at the time the ads was running in analytics. So you were able to see, although you weren't able to track it as well, you were definitely able to see an increase in the traffic at the time period that the ads were running. And then you could actually see like a knock-on effect within the rankings of that happening. So it kind of just clarifies what you want about.
And then number 5, not a very pretty kind of thing for us to talk about, website performance. No. I think for me, it's just more ticking all the boxes, make certain it loads fast, making certain that just everything's set up correctly from a technical standpoint. But
then also keeping on top of it, so that a lot of the time people tick that box, but they never ever revisit that box.
Yeah.
And things change in time. You know, site servers degrade, site performance can load. You can add more sites under the same server, which start hogging more traffic, which actually makes that website load slower. So things like that, it's very important that you have like a tech team or, you know, some other type of agency who can manage that for you. And just make sure that the site's always performing, you know, keep as a bare minimum, have an uptime robot running.
Yeah.
Because a lot of SEOs probably have tons and tons of websites going on or a lot of stuff going on. So they're not actually tracking if their website, they might be getting DDoSed at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
every night, and the site's clocking off for an hour or two and they're not realizing it, and then they come back on. But those negative metrics are affecting the website,
especially when it's 500 error in on
exactly.
the site. Like,
Exactly.
So if I kind of analyse it for 2024, and you can as well, with regards to, let's say we go through your method, so semantic SEO.
Yeah.
So for me to improve semantic SEO, some of the things that we're doing internally for 2024 is making certain that we kind of Google or load into ChatGPT every single H2 that we have, making certain that we've got the right entities underneath that heading, trying to keep it as like entity rich as we can in each and every section for us to try to get more featured snippets. That's what we're doing internally. Then the next one with regards to the silo structure, trying to just internal link more where we can. Any possible way in the micro content that we can internal link, we're doing it. Again, we're doing keyword rich, like you've said. Backlinks, we're doing a lot more than ever with regards to branded naked URL to the homepage. We're also doing disavows to remove any toxic links that there is, which gives us more toxicity threshold kind of space to allow us to build more links. Then with regards to the traffic, we're trying to get traffic from as many different sources as we can to try to get through to the site. Technical, I ain't very technical. I just try and make certain my technical team, like you said, keep on top of everything. So
often found in WhatsApp.
Yeah,
these technical messages.
So with regards to, is there anything on yours, let's say on the semantics or on the backlinks, that you're thinking people need to do slightly different or more of that people seem to miss out for 2024?
Again, it's more just don't be reliant solely on ChatGPT. Obviously, we know that information is going to be key and fundamental, but then the problem is you're going to fall into a sort of like a bit of a pit where everyone's information is the same.
Yeah.
Because it's only got the one source of entities. So you have to kind of think outside the box, utilize places like Reddit, Quora, and see what the actual users are mentioning about the different topics. Because sometimes that might not be an entity at that point, but it doesn't mean that it can't be an entity in the future as the SERP develops. And also you're looking at the entities within, say, ChatGPT. It's not necessarily the entities that are within the knowledge graph of Google.
Yeah.
So obviously trying to identify that's probably fundamental.
I think on that, the information gain is so
it's going to be vital,
it's so important, especially because a lot of people are doing correlated copycat content nowadays.
So where would you say out that top 5 list? I know you debated where I had some of mine. Where would you say what is your top 5 in 2024?
My top 5 is semantic SEO is number 1.
Yeah.
Traffic is number 2. Backlinks is number 3. Website performance number 4. Internal links number 5. I think all 5 are ridiculously important. I don't think that. So you're saying you don't need internal links? Like they're all needed 100%. Like, but I think that's my order of. I think I can rank without doing the internal links with regards to traffic and backlinks with good quality content. So I'd put that a bit further down the pecking order. I'm only putting technical number 4 because I don't know much about it and it sounds important.
It's a big word.
So, no, hopefully that wraps it up. Obviously, if anyone else has got any kind of ideas of what they think that we're missing with regards to what might be working in 2024, drop a comment below and then we'll kind of come back and we'll do a follow-on to see whether we agree or disagree. We do a lot of testing, so it'll be interesting to see what people. Do you think that someone might come up with something like, you missed out this that's really important?
Probably, yeah. But again, it's like the angle of, in the last podcast we mentioned, we kind of went down the route of let's make some money out of this.
Yeah.
So we did the important things.
Yeah.
So we're always up for testing something new, and that's that's the one thing I love about SEO is there's plenty of ways to skin the cat.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean that there's tons of ways of doing SEO and everyone's got their own different ways and methods of doing SEO. And, whoever ranks.
Yeah.
Period. So if someone has a better way, then by all means, spout it and let's hear.
Yeah. Drop a comment. See if we're missing something. If we are missing something, then we'll test it and then we'll do a follow-up. All for now. Peace.